Consistency comes achievement. Could you believe it? Well, I believe it. I believe it.
Coming up on Real Talk.
When the kids is just, you always screaming at them, they're gonna go in their shell, they're gonna get in a defense mode, they're gonna feel like they did something wrong. And, if you pick your child up and hold your child, rub him on his back, rub her on her back and talk to him, sit him in your lap, that's nurture. Right. Some parents don't do that,
Exactly.
Some parents don't give their kids that. Oh, you tough, you don't need that,
Part of that's very important for their child, to make their children feel warm inside. Not just go buy me a pair of shoes, go buy me this, go buy me that. What about me feeling warm inside? That's
Exactly.
very important.
Very, very important, because your kids are just like you. We was children before, and as an adult, and me put myself in that child's place, I wouldn't want to be, because I would want an explanation, because I said so.
Yeah.
Because I'm your mama.
Yeah.
I'm your daddy. That's what parents seem to, don't realize that, you have to let these kids know that, hey, this is why, son, this is why.
Right.
And what do you feel about that?
With consistency comes achievement. Could you believe it? Well, I believe it.
Welcome to our show, Real Talk. I'm your host, Amina. The views expressed here are strictly ours. Take what you like and leave the rest. Hakim is with me today, Hakim Hawk. He's a single parent that has gone through a parenting class. And welcome, Hakim. One of the things that I'd like to know is, how has the parenting class helped you with your children, and what are some of the challenges you have had with old behavior?
Wow. The parenting class is very beneficial to me toward my outlook on how I deal with my kids, and the way I deal with my kids' emotions and the things that a normal child go through. Yeah, it was really beneficial to me on how I deal with my kids and the choices I make on dealing with certain things that they do. For instance, like the tone in my voice, the way I talk to my child, understanding that kids are just like us. I don't want no one to scream at me. So, I wouldn't scream at my son, but in the past tense, it's like I grew up in a big family, and I try to, it's kind of like a normal thing to raise my voice when I talk, when I speak, when I'm trying to get my point across. And I really don't mean no harm when I do scream, but it's one of my flaws, and I recognize within myself, and that's one of my challenges. Watching the tone of my voice, because you can scare them, when you do raise your voice at your child.
So your good intentions of trying to get their attention backfires, because it really scares them.
Yeah.
By you raising your voice. You raise your voice because you're trying to get them to focus in on what you're saying. But in other words, what it does is it scares the child and makes them unable to verbalize or to understand even anything that you're saying. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. It spooks them. You can see the eyes get big, and but I really don't mean no harm. And that's like a normal thing, that's just like a small thing. But the parenting class showed me how to, it was like to nurture, to recognize where my kids' needs are as a baby. As a young child, and my kids, my younger two kids that's with me in the house all the time are 3 and 4. My little daughter, she just turned 3 in May, so she just got off of 2. So it's like dealing with their behavior and their normal childhood. It showed me a better way on how to deal with everything that I go through with my child.
For instance?
Like getting their attention. How do I get their attention? I have to, come down to their level, look at them in their eyes, and talk in a calm and a collective way. And when I do give them that attention, they'll understand, that I'm trying to get my point across, and I mean business.
So in order to substitute the yelling, you come down to their level and get that focus, that eye contact, and then keep your voice low. And that substitutes for you having to yell, because you have their attention and they're paying attention to you.
Exactly.
And so now you don't have to worry about scaring them, being all scared or whatever.
Exactly, because it's like when you scream, they really not paying attention. They feel like they done something wrong. Although if they did do something wrong, I'm trying to, I can tell them in a better way with instead of yelling it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that yelling is it really does do a lot of blocking for the child. Scares them, makes them unable to verbalize or even pay attention to what you're saying. I see what you mean. So what happens when you hit that wall?
Such as what you mean by that?
Say you hit the wall of old behavior versus new behavior. You come down, you focus in, and then you get there, you looking at them and you're got their attention, so you think, and then but still it doesn't work. What do you do then? What are some of the things that you do?
Basically, I kind of find myself screaming louder, but I have to catch myself. I have to catch myself because I'm only human, and me recognizing that it's something that they're missing. I think about how I would want my child to act. How I would want my parents to speak to me. What I'm trying to say. If how knowing that this child is a mini me. They have feelings, they have emotions. They have the same feelings that I have.
Right.
And it's like we as parents, we fail to realize that sometimes that I'm the daddy, I'm the mama. Oh, this is why I said that. So your kids, you got to kind of talk to them and express to them your point that you're trying to get to them in a clear way. So I do a lot of what I learned is communication, talking to them, instead of yelling. They want to know why.
Yeah.
Why? My daddy, why? Then they just want to know why.
Right.
So I explain it to them,
Right.
And that, that's kind of like opening up their mind. It works on them and them being more understanding and more hearing me better, hearing me out better, and instead of yelling,
Right.
Daddy, why? They don't know. They babies.
Yeah, they babies. And that really is something different, because old school, what you mean asking me why? Because I said it, that's why. Which is no answer, really. It hasn't told a child anything.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Because that's the problem is, and that's one thing I learned in parenting. I know how to raise a child. It's a lot of things that I didn't know because I have a 26-year-old son, and it's it's a lot of things on raising my 26-year-old son. My behavior pattern and the way I talk to him, I learned in the parenting class. It was wow, it was something that I was missing, that I wasn't giving him that proper nurturing. I wasn't giving him something, communicating with him, but the class helped me realize that, hey, this child needs the proper, he's missing something. When he do get angry and throw that tantrum, it's a reason.
Right.
It's a reason why that child was acting that way.
Right.
But we as parents, we have to be, you go in that room because I said so and I don't want to hear your mouth.
Right. Just shut them down.
Yeah.
Don't allow them to express anything.
Exactly.
Don't even listen to them. I said it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that I said it stuff.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And it's you well, my mama raised me right, and this and that, and this is how I was raised, and in the nurture, in the parenting class, you learn all type of different things. You be having personal issues within yourself, so you was raised this way, so this way is right. And what that book says or what they say in parenting is a bunch of garbage, you know? That's how people look at it.
Right.
You know, you can't tell me, my mama raised me right.
Right.
But then some of the things that your mama probably did raise you right in your eyes, you know, but them ways, them old school ways is old school, but you don't need to go get the switch off the tree and beat the baby or, you know, to get your point across.
Right, right.
You know, it's like the old school ways of raising your child is something that we think is the right way.
Right. Because that's all we know.
Exactly.
We haven't opened our minds up to anything different. We want to close our minds and say we know everything. But when you actually, if you say that and if you're truthful with yourself, you know that some things that was done to you, you didn't like them. And you was probably passive aggressive with it. Meaning you did what you wanted to do. You didn't really do what your mama and them told you to do. You did what you wanted to do in a slick, sly way. So it wasn't working, basically. But back to you. Go ahead about the parenting.
Yeah, and it's like when you it's like with me, what I got at the parenting class is like it taught me a whole different way, and it taught me to communicate with my child better, to give my child what they're missing.
And what is it that they're missing? You keep saying that.
They need that nurturing, you know, they need a lot of nurturing. And because my kids, they kind of grew dysfunctional because mom and dad split up, you know, so they need the proper nurturing. My kids are kind of like special children because, you know, mom and dad is not together.
Right, that plays a big part in it.
And so they react a certain way.
Right.
A certain way because mom and dad are not together, and they're not able to really hear both of their opinions of how they look at things face to face. You know, we don't really communicate.
You and the other parent don't really communicate. So this affects the children, and it makes them act out in certain ways, and you have to be aware of that. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, but now that it's like, what I'm trying to say is, it's like my children, every child, you know, is sad.
Right.
You know, they're sad when mom and dad not together.
Right.
Bottom line, that's what I'm trying to say.
Uh-huh.
You know, any breakup or split up, you know, mama in this house, daddy in this house, they love both their mother and their father. Right. You know, and me, you know, I'm glad that my kids are able to really express themselves to them, you know, to me, by communicating with me. That's what the parenting class taught me. My son is able to tell me, Dad, I'm sad. Right. And this is something I wasn't able to do, you know, when I was young, you know. But I learned how to do that with these two children by going through the parenting class. They let me, he let me know we're able to communicate like a little baby man. Right, that's what they are. And it's like, it tickled me, you know, and it's like, I know you sad because mom and dad are not together in the same household, but you still have both parents. Right. That's what I let them know. You know, you still have mom, you still have dad. You know, you go spend your time with your mother on this day, and, you know, you have fun with your mom, but his behavior pattern or her behavior pattern is based on what I'm installing in him, and how he's gonna act when he go to school and he go to public schools. Like right now they're in daycare, but a lot of their behavior come from the home, and they take it to school. Right, they're surrounded. Exactly. So what they learn at home, they take to school. Right. You know, then if you're not giving that proper nurturing, they're gonna reach out and want that attention in another place. Well, I see. They're gonna search for that. Right. They're gonna search for that. And then if you don't nip it in the bud at home, they're gonna take it to school, and it's gonna be is gonna be you're gonna have problems with your child if you're not working with your child at home and give them that proper nurturing. They're gonna seek that nurturing somewhere
elsewhere. Yeah. Now, what is this proper nurturing? What exactly does that consist of?
A high five. Say for instance, like, you give your baby, when you reward him, you let your baby know. I learned that you let your baby know that he is or she is special. Make them feel warm inside,
Right.
because they are emotional just like us. Every human being is emotional. We are emotional creatures. And based on the fact that our emotions can trigger a certain behavior pattern,
Right.
when we are upset or when we're sad. And kids, we're like big giants to the kids.
Right.
And when the kids is just, you're always screaming at them, they're gonna go in their shell, they're gonna get in a defense mode, they're gonna feel like they did something wrong. And you pick your child up and hold your child, rub him on his back, rub her on her back and talk to him, sit him in your lap, that's nurturing.
Right.
Some parents don't do that.
Exactly.
Some parents don't give their kids that. Oh, you tough, you don't need that, But that's something I didn't receive when I was young.
Right.
That's something that I was like, I didn't even know how to say I love you. It was like I felt something, it was just, not saying that it's wrong. I wanted to say I love you, like I love you, Mom, I love you, Dad. It wasn't embedded in me. But now my kids, they like, I love you, Dad. I love you. It's something, that's nurturing. Making them feel warm inside, making them feel that you care, Daddy care. That's the proper nurturing. And a lot of people, they get caught up in their worldly life, their bills, their responsibilities. As long as they provide, they're neglecting that.
Right.
What their kids is getting.
Right.
And they don't really realize it. They really don't realize that I'm not giving my kids that proper time that they need.
Well, what you're not giving your child making that child feel warm inside, because you're so busy paying the bills, providing the food, and providing a place for them to stay. Sometimes you get caught up in things as a man that's all you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then that's the parenting class made me recognize that. So my eyes are all open to that. I'm providing, I'm doing this, I'm putting clothes on their back, shoes on their feet, doing all the things that a person's supposed to do. But then the nurturing part, I'm overwhelmed when I get out of work. Hey, go over there. They want to run to you, get on your back, and you love that, and then you limit it to that, and I love that. I spend time. I'm like one of a kind parent. My kids, one on my back and one on my neck, one on my shoulders. That's what I learned in the parenting. It was very beneficial to me.
That's great.
Very.
That's really great. Men should know that's very important for their child, to make their children feel warm inside. Not just go buy me a pair of shoes, go buy me this, go buy me that. What about me feeling warm inside? That's very important.
Very, very important, because your kids are just like you. We was children before, and as an adult, and me put myself in that child's place, I wouldn't want to be, because I said, I would want an explanation, because I said so.
Yeah.
Because I'm your mama.
Yeah.
I'm your daddy. That's what parents seem to, don't realize that, you have to let these kids know that, hey, this is why, son, this is why.
Right.
And what do you feel about that? How does that make you feel? And you'd be surprised. Mine are just 3 and 4, and they still got a lot of growing to do. Yeah. And my 7-year-old, my 8-year-old, they're very, very, very intelligent to be 7 and 8.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Now that because I said it, that goes into the different ways of parenting. You have the authoritarian, which is do what I say because I said it, and then you have that parent that just lets them run over and just tap everything, which makes other people think parenting is bad because you had a parent that don't do nothing, let the kids rule. You had a parent that do what I say because I said it. And then you have the nurturing parent that nurtures their child, makes them feel warm inside.
Exactly. You want to limit yourself. I learned that you have to have rules and boundaries, certain things. You know, you have to pay for the consequences of your actions. I learned in the parenting class that you should establish a set of rules. And once them rules are set, then you sit down and you talk to your child to give them an understanding that these are the rules and that type of behavior is unacceptable. So you take this and you stay stern with that,
right? And
don't bend with that.
Yeah,
you don't want to. You don't want to be 1 minute you this way, 1 minute you that way, because the kid will play on that.
Play on it. Plus, you done confuse them. 1 minute you're hot, 1 minute you're cold. They don't know what to expect. So now they're getting ready to work you. Yeah, I hear you.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like if you establish these rules, this child know, okay, I broke a rule, and the consequences of this, I'm gonna have to have a timeout, or I'm gonna have to. I can't play with that toy. You know, like for instance, if you in the room and you see your children arguing, fussing, and fighting, I try to teach my kids to share. You know, and kids quite natural. You know, this mine, this is that. You know,
that's that age.
Exactly, that's the age. So how do I resolve this problem? Do I get mad and say, "Hey, stop it"? No, you guys share the toys, or they're gonna be put up. That's one of the rules. That's one of the rules, and they know sharing. You know, don't fight over the toys. Share. So you installing in this child that, hey, you know, let's share. You know, let's play together. If you don't establish those type of rules, the kids will always argue, fuss, and fight, and never know how to share.
Right, because it's natural, because children at that ages, the age is 0 to, I believe, 7 or 8, maybe 10. That's the age where it's mine. It's all about me. It's mine.
Exactly.
So that's just natural. That's just something natural, a natural thing that the child does because of his development level. That's the level that he's on.
Exactly. And a lot of parents don't realize that. They expect them to think like you. You know, this is old school. This is an old school thought. Oh, that my son know better not to do that. It's just the baby brain haven't developed.
Just came out. You expecting him to pick the mop up off the floor. Just madness.
Yeah. And you gotta nurture that baby and let that baby know that's one of the rules. That's unacceptable. Fighting with your sister over those toys.
Right.
And when he get hostile, he's gonna go, no, it's mine. And when you put him up, and then it's when you explain to him why. Why did you take them?
Right.
The baby want to know, why did you take the toys? This is why. You guys are not getting along. These toys are just toys. It's your toy, but then you should share with your toys.
Right.
You know, share. It's more because you're going to have to go to school, son. You're going to have to play with the Legos at school, take turns. Be nice. And this is something that I install in my child and understand this is what I recognize.
Right.
What I recognize, and it won't give that teacher that problem at school.
Yeah, she'll be glad to have your kid in there.
Exactly.
Because he's one of the children that has been taught at home to share.
Exactly.
Instead of fight, which is naturally what they do. That's
exactly
what they do.
So if you install this and if this and he go to school and he realize, hey, you know, what did I teach you at home? Yeah, to share. He'll know. But if he never knew from the first place, hey, you just take your toys and you stay with don't touch his toys. You know, that's not the correct way.
Right.
That's not the correct way. You want to teach your kids to play together.
Oh, I see. Okay, Hakim, really, I have I believe I have it here. That was very good, and it seems like you've really learned a lot of information that you're implementing in your life with your children. But I'm gonna read this letter. This is just a little letter. It's words of a child. It says, Teddy, I've been bad again. My mommy told me so. I'm not quite sure what I did, but I thought you might know. When I woke up this morning, I knew she was mad because she was crying awful hard and yelling at my dad. I tried my best to be real good and do just what she said. I cleaned my room all by myself. I even made my bed. But I spilled milk on my good shirt. When she yelled at me to hurry, and I guess she didn't hear me when I told her I was sorry, 'cause she hit me awful hard. You see, called me funny names. She told me I was really bad and that I should be ashamed. When I said I love you, Mommy, I guess she didn't understand, 'cause she yelled at me, shut your mouth or I'd smack you again. So I came up here to talk to you. Please tell me what to do, 'cause I really love my mommy and I know she loves me too. I don't think my mommy means to hit me quite so hard. I guess sometimes that grown-ups forget how really big they are. So Teddy, I wish you were real and you weren't just a bear. Then you could help me find a way to tell mommies everywhere to please try hard to understand how sad it makes us feel. 'Cause the outside pain soon goes away, but the inside never heals. If we could only make them listen, maybe then they'd understand. So other children, just like me, wouldn't have to hurt again. But for now, I guess I'll hold you tight and pretend the pain's not there. I know you'll never hurt me. So good night, my teddy bear. You know, this is a letter here that really touched me. And it sounds like from your parenting that you've learned what this baby is trying to tell us here. Listen to me, you know. And I hope you guys heard what this baby was saying and realize just because you're going through a lot of stuff, we all go through a lot of stuff, but these children are little us's, little women and little men. They have feelings too. We need to listen to them and understand where they coming from so they don't have to run to no teddy bear. See you, baby. When you know better, you do better. Ciao.
Yeah, they need that nurturing.
They need that nurturing.
They need that. She wasn't giving them the proper nurturing.
She gonna slap him in the face, talking about shut up. Ain't even trying to hear what they saying.
Exactly. So busy worried about her life and not even thinking about the child and how hurt the baby feel.
That's sad. It really makes me cry that we as parents are so messed up and think we know everything. We was raised right. You know, we were raised the way that our parents did the best they could with what they had. But this is a new day.
Right.
It's time to do something different. You see this cycle, you're looking at your kids, why don't you try to do something?
Right.
You know? Okay. Ciao.